Hi, fifth graders. Today is our first day coming back to division, although hopefully you've been doing the division practice in our fluency activities just to refresh our minds. But if you haven't, you might want to go back and look at those. So you may have noticed from our first problem here that we are using numbers greater than 10 now as our divisors. So in this question, this is 70 divided by 30. I'm going to solve these first maybe two, and then I'm going to have you solve, so you don't need to write anything down yet. So again, this problem is 70 divided by 30. We're going to use the same process we have before. Dad, mom, sister, brother, rover. Remember what those mean. D means divide. So first we divide. We're trying to think, how many times does 30 go into 70? That's our divide. And divide's written at the top. That answer of how many times 30 goes into 70 also gets written up top. Then we multiply whatever number we just wrote times 30 gets written below. And then we subtract. Brother brings down, and then we either repeat or possibly have a remainder, but most likely repeat. Okay, let's get started with this one. So in order to start thinking how many times does 30 go into 70, I need to be able to count by 30s. And if you struggle with this, if you know how to count by threes, you know how to count by 30. So here's what I mean. Counting by threes, I'd have 3, 6, 9, 12. I'm going to stop there. Counting by 30s, look what I'm going to do. Add a 0. Look, I made it a 30. Add a 0. Add a 0. Add a 0. So counting by 30, I would have 30, 60, 90, 120. All the numbers just got 10 times bigger. Okay, so let's see, how many times can 30 go into 70? 30, 60, 90. Oh, 90 is too much. So 30, 60, it can go in 2 times. Actually, I should have put a 0 here because 30 can't go into 7 at all. So 30 goes into 70 2 times. Did I hit 70 exactly? No, I hit 60 because 2 times 30 is 60. That's why I write that below. Coming back to you. So I just did the multiplication. 2 times 30 is 60. Subtract. 70 minus 60 would be 10. Is there anything to bring down? Nope, no number next. So for these problems, we're actually going to write our answer here. That's going to be our remainder. Pretty simple. So our answer for this, 70 divided by 30, is 2, remainder 10. We're going to do one last thing. We want to make sure that our answer is correct. So we're going to get in the habit of checking our work. I'm going to use that space over here for that. And here's how we do that. I always think of it kind of like a rainbow. I think we've gone over this before. So I'm going to start on the left and go up and over. I'm going to take that number, the 30, multiply it by the number up top. So 30 times 2. What is 30 times 2? 30, 60. And then add the remainder. 60 plus 10 is 70. And if I get back to that dividend I started with, that 70 here, 70 here, I did it correct. That means my answer must be correct. As long as you did your multiplication and addition correct, that is. That wasn't too bad, was it? Let's do another one. So in this problem, let's do 430 divided by 60. 430 divided by 60. So I should have done this on the last one, but let's work through it now. Can 60 go into 4? 60. Nope. No groups can go into 4. How many times can 60 go into 43? 60. Nope. Too much. Goes in 0 times. We want to get a habit of writing these zeros because when it's with a decimal, it matters. So now I'm at 430. How many times can 60 go into 430? 60. What comes after 60 if I'm counting? If you're not sure, use your side. Instead of counting by 60, let's count by 6. It's okay to use the multiplication chart too. If you're not sure, I always post one of these before on top of the slides here. So here's a 6, and I could go down, or here's a 6, and I could go across. 5, 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. I'm going to write these. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, and 48. Let's stop there. Now, I didn't count by 60s. I just counted by 6. So I'm going to have to add that 0 to make it 60 now. There we go. So how many times can 60 go into 430? 60, 120, 180, 240, 300, 360, 420, 480. Oh, 480 is too much. I'm going to take one away. That would be 7 times. And what was 7 times 60? I didn't get quite to 430. I got to 420. All right, so that was my multiplication. So now we subtract. What is 430 minus 420? Oh, that's 10 again. That's funny. And since there's no other number here to bring down, that's going to be our remainder. So our answer is 7, remainder 10. Let's check that. We're going to do this on all the problems. That way we know we got them correct. So again, think of a rainbow. You're going to do 60 times 7. Because there were 7, you're saying there are 7 groups of 60 in 430. So how much is 7 groups of 60? 60 times 7 is 420. But that's not the answer I started with. Don't forget your remainder, what was left over. And we just add that. 430. There we go. 430, 430. I did it correct. All right, I want you to do your best to solve. I'll get you started. Let's use the numbers. 572 divided by 90. So if you feel confident and you're ready to solve, that's great. You can stop the video here and then go on to the next slide when you're ready to check your work. But if you want me to help you get started, let's write out our multiples of 90. And again, I don't know my multiples of 90, but I know my multiples of 9. So here's my 9. And again, you could use your place value chart. So here's your 9. 9, 18, 27. Let's write these down. 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72. I'm going to stop there. Hopefully that's enough. And if not, I could keep going once I realize I need to keep going. Again, this wasn't 90. This was counting by 9s. So make sure you add that 0. Make everything 10 times larger. Okay, this helps you get started. Do that same thing. I want you to stop the video, solve, and then go to the next slide when you're ready to check your work. If you want my help a little bit more, let's start together. I'm going to cover up these. How many groups of 90 are there in 5? None. There are no groups. Let's add our 0. How many groups of 90 are there in 57? 90. Oh, too much. Also none. So now you figure out how many groups of 90 are there in 572. Remember, you can't go over. So try and get as close to 572 as you can. Right, here's why I want you to pause, or actually not pause because the video is going to end, but then do your best to solve, and when you're ready to check, go on to the next video. Good job, everyone.